What's going on, everybody? I'm Lsd, and I'm here with my boy Eggs over here.
How's it going?
And we're Too Faded to Play, the podcast where we talk about video games and we drink while we doing it.
Drink a lot, especially today.
Yeah.
You showed up with a surprise, and I'm a little worried.
Yeah, today is going to be a day of some good drinking. A buddy of ours came through with a handle. I was like, this for me? I wasn't expecting it. Christmas came a little early.
It's gonna be a good episode. Might be a scary night.
And probably a regretful morning.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into it. What you been up to, man?
I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, actually.
Minecraft. Oh, you took it back.
Me and a couple friends all started up a server together, and I've been playing probably too much of it, because I haven't really sat and played Minecraft since 2014, really. Like, I've played Minecraft in between then, but I haven't really put time into it since then. So I kind of got weirdly back into it with all the new stuff they've added, trying to figure it out and all that.
All right.
What about you?
Nothing really. I haven't really been playing any video games this week. It's been kind of busy at work. Mm-hmm. When I come home, I'm just so exhausted. I don't even play anything. But yesterday and today, I got quite a bit in playing the game that we going to talk about today.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of that in today. But I ain't going to hold you in. Let's get into our beer of the day. So this is oldie that me and my homeboy used to drink back in the day.
Okay.
And I was actually fortunate to find it at a store here.
Okay.
Gross.
Premium Pilsner.
Oh, yeah. It's good, too. There's no story on it or nothing.
No story. Did you just drink it?
Yep. Good old top on it.
Good old pop.
There we go. Down the hatch.
Alrighty. It's pretty good.
Yes, sir. They only sell it in a 4-pack.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I guess if you're going to put a top on it like this nowadays, you're probably not going to be selling it.
Yeah.
As big amounts. Large amounts, at least.
And it got some pop to it. Mm-hmm. It's good, man. It's kind of, it's not as strong as a Heineken. It's kind of like in the middle a bit.
Yeah, somewhere between like a Heineken and a normal beer. It's good, though. I like it.
Yeah. And I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't even know if that's how you say it. Gross.
Right, yes, I have no clue.
Yeah, I heard my homeboy say it one time, and I just ran with it.
Oh, yeah?
So I don't even know if I'm saying it right or anything. I'm pretty sure somebody in our comments would let us know if we saying it right or wrong.
Yeah, please correct us.
Yes, but it's delicious. I don't even know what the content is.
5%.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. Yeah. But this is going to be a heavy. We're going to have to get some to eat after this. I'm not even going to lie.
We probably should have done it right before the episode, but...
Yeah. We'll probably just end up at our spot like we always do.
Yeah.
But, yes, go ahead, man. So go ahead and get into our topic.
Our game?
Yes, our game, Cartridge Club.
Oh.
God. Now you doing the belching today.
So the game we picked, we announced in the last episode, is Nier Automata, or Nier Automata, or a Nier Automaton. People say it differently. I call it Nier Automata. But I've not hidden it in this podcast. I think I've talked about it like 4 or 5 times now. It's genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. And I think it just does a very good job at balancing its heavy combat gameplay with... So, like, when a game is a long game, they want to add stuff to it that takes you away from getting bored of the main mechanic. Mm-hmm. So they'll add something little into the side of it. Like, that's why you'll play like a Call of Duty or something, and you'll get those random, like, you're in a helicopter bombing runs, or you're in a vehicle missions, because it breaks up the gameplay a little bit. I think Nier Automata does a great job at that by implementing it into it with the shoot 'em ups, the side scrolling, the top down, and sometimes you get locked camera modes, you know, stuff like that. I think they do a great job with that kind of thing. And gameplay is just a lot of fun to me.
Yeah. When you said this is like one of your favorite games, I immediately thought Final Fantasy, turn-based type of game. I saw the cover and I was like, I don't know. But then I got it. And I played it. And surprisingly, I liked it a lot. It was different. The camera angles, like you said, that kind of like took me aback for a minute, because it's like 1 minute you in first person, next minute you in second person, next to you side scrolling, then you're got the above shot. I'm like, oh, okay, this is totally different. This is nothing I expected. And then, like, just like you were saying, how, you know, you do like bombing missions with other ones. This one is like you into like a mech suit. Then you jump into the mech suit, turns into like a jet, kind of like Robotech.
Yeah.
And that had me. Like the first couple minutes of playing the game, I was like, oh, okay, we in the spaceship. And then when you slow down, then you turn into the mech. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right, I feel it. And then you hop out the suit, then you can go fight. I'm like, oh, oh shit, tie her on to something. All right, let's get it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really bold choice in an RPG, an action RPG, to open the game with a shoot 'em up, because it opens you up in a generic style shoot 'em up where you're in the jet, you're at the bottom of the screen, and everything's coming down at you. Yeah,
kind of like if you want to kind of put it into like a perspective, think of like Space Invaders, something like that.
You're moving side to side, things are coming down at you,
and they're shooting at you. 1942 games like that. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like, and it gave me kind of like the little chills a little bit. I'm like, oh, I like games like this.
And then they immediately show you that there's something going on with this game, because like you said, you do this little area and then it changes into the mech form, and all of a sudden it's a twin stick shooter where you're moving with one stick and aiming and shooting with the other stick, and you've got full movement around the screen.
Right.
And then it launches you down into a thing where you're right behind it and you're dodging pillars going side to side, trying to flip out of the way, and then it dumps you out of this suit right into a fight where you're just swinging and killing robots with swords.
Right. That I love. The music is good. It's got some great music in it. My only complaint with it was too loud.
Too loud?
Yeah. I actually had to go into the settings to turn the music down because the music bed was so loud that it was drowning out the fight scene. I wanted to hear the sword and the metal clashing, but the music was just going so loud that I was like, I gotta turn it down. It's a bit much.
I mean, that's fair. The music is really good, in my opinion. They do something really interesting with it. There's actual lyrics to it, but the lyrics are a mix of like 4 different languages, and it's entirely written for just these songs. So like it's spoken in a way that would sound like English. So like how we talk in our sentence structure is how it's written, but the words are Japanese and German put together, and then they have like French accents added to certain words and so it's supposed to make it feel almost familiar but alien at the same time, because the game is about you being on Earth, but now it's just robots, you know, and like the people have ran, the people are gone. It's Earth, but it's alien to you, and that's kind of what the music they did with the lyrics to try to like pull that around, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
that's way more detail in a video game song than you would expect.
Yeah, I thought the soundtrack was really good. One of the songs is kind of catchy. I don't know if you remember the part. It's near that amusement park. You go, it's like the little trees, and they got the robots in the trees. And whatever music is playing there, I like that song.
Yeah.
I was just walking around just listening to the song because I was like, I really like this song. It was really catchy. Another thing, I got a couple of gripes with it, and it's not really gameplay. It's really just like most of the animation. I thought it could have been sharper. I thought that it could have been sharper. The colors could have been brighter because it's like really kind of like just gray tone.
Yeah.
Most of the game. Then you go into some scenes where it's like black and white. I really didn't care for that part. I could have did away with that part. The music bed, that was another one. And I don't know if it's just me, but the game is glitchy as fuck.
It might be just you. Like, there are glitches at the game. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I've never ran into anything where it was crazy. What are you talking about?
So I've been playing it for the last couple of days. I'll get, pretty far. I'm fighting the boss. The next thing you know, the game would just shut off.
Really?
Yeah, like the game would just shut off. I get like this error message saying, not basically like an error has occurred. Do you want to ship it to PlayStation or something like that, or whatever, the data or whatever? I'll ship it to them. Then I start back over, and I'm like super far back. I'm like, man, I gotta do this shit again.
Yeah, because it doesn't make you manually save.
Yeah, you have to manually save. There's no auto save. That's another thing. I didn't realize that until I was playing, and I'm like, damn, man, I got pretty far. And then I realized, like, why the fuck am I starting back here? It should have auto saved. So you have to save at those little vending machine looking things all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You better save. Because it'll piss you off. And like I told my best friend about it. I was like, hey, man, this is a game we play for the podcast. I think you'll like it. Check it out. And he went and downloaded it. And me and him was playing it together, and he was like, yeah, this kind of dope. He's into it.
Yeah.
So he's feeling it. He's like, okay, I can see this game. It's not a bad game. I can see myself continue to play it. The part that just pissed me off is just you got a good rhythm going, and then the game just shuts off. And now I got to start over from wherever I saved that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, like, when it shut off this last time, I just didn't turn it back on. I was like, I'm not playing it right now because that pissed me off.
So I never had that happen to me when I played it. And I don't think King Buns did either, because I pretty much watched him do his entire playthrough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That might be something maybe weird happened with the install when it went up or something. I don't know. It could be. You're playing on the PS5, right?
Yeah, I'm playing on the 5.
So maybe there's something weird with the PlayStation 4 emulation they got going on, because I played it when it came out originally on PS4.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. The only version of the game I've heard that was like really not great was the PC version. It was very slow and laggy. And it wasn't a good port. It had a bunch of glitches. I think I've heard since then they fixed it. I haven't played it on PC myself to know, but
okay, yeah, it might just be the 5, because there was a part where I was fighting this battle, and I just fell through the earth, and it just seemed like I was falling forever until the screen caught up. It was a weird time.
Yeah, that is weird. I didn't have anything like that happen.
Yeah, it was a weird time in the game.
I remember some stuff where I felt like it was a slightly cheap death, where I was like, I was away from that projectile, like,
yeah,
there's some of that in there. And it's one of my favorite games, but I'm not going to say it's a perfect game. I don't know if you've gotten to the point where, I think it's the third act. I don't know if you've gotten to that point at all. But there's like a really big, or I guess technically the second act into the third act, right at the end of Act 2. There's a really big difficulty spike out of nowhere, and I don't know. I don't know if you've gotten that far, but it's like there's definitely some complaints to be had about the game.
Okay, I could take the last boss I fought. It was right after the resistance camp got blown up, And right when you come out the resistance camp, it was that big orb looking like spider looking thing. And it had like the drills on the, because you just fought it at the warehouse or the factory. You just fought it in the dark. And then I guess he follows you over there, and because it's like, I've just left that place, you walking back to that place, and it's an ass load of robots out there. So you trying to fight your way back to the resistance camp that they just pretty much burnt and killed everybody over there. It's like one person over there, and then you go outside of the resistance camp, and then you got this orb, and you got to fight. That's where I was fighting them, and that's where it crashed at. Okay. And it just pissed me off so much.
Yeah, no, that would piss me off too. I probably wouldn't have beat the game if it was doing that to me.
And my homeboy, we on the mics and stuff, and I'm sitting there like, this game just fucking stop. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, just fucking stop. And I just got like, I'm getting off the fucking game. He just laughing the whole time. He's like, damn.
I think it's worth beating for you. Like, if it is annoying, but I think the game's worth beating because you've probably only seen like a quarter of the game and what it has to offer. So.
I said I'm gonna go back and play it.
Yeah,
like it's not over for me. It was just the timing because it was almost time for come shoot the podcast. So I'm like, I'll just hop on it when I got some more time. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. The bosses I think are great. That one that's like when you're in the ocean. You first start off in your mech suit, and it look like a big, because you're supposed to protect like a aircraft carrier, but then it's like this submarine, but it looked like a fish or something.
Yeah, it's like a big fish robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just comes up out of the ocean.
Yeah, like then you got to shoot like that big giant cannon in his mouth and stuff like that. That was a fun battle. I really like that one.
I really just like the scenario for that one because it's back to where you're behind the ship and the camera, and he's just shooting loads of projectiles at you and lasers swiping up across the screen, and you've just got to dodge everything, trying to shoot down what you can. Fast paced. You get up there, you blast him in his weak spot.
I thought it was a dope game. I think it's probably gonna be pretty high on my list. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely high on my list. The girl in the game, the main character, she got that little black dress on. When she run, you just see her ass cheeks. I'm like, man, the Japanese, man, and they love them little schoolgirl dresses.
Good old 2B. So fun fact about 2B.
2B.
When I don't know if it was like a marketing thing, because I didn't hear about this until after the game had come out and I played it. So I don't know if it was like a marketing thing or they said it later. The amount of polygons on her ass alone to make it as smooth and round as possible.
Oh my God.
Just her ass.
That's terrible.
Has more polygons than the entirety of Ocarina of Time.
Why do you have this fucking facts in your brain? Why?
Because the guy who makes the story writer, I love the guy, Yoko Taro. And somebody asked him about it in an interview, and they're like, why is her ass so smooth? And the man literally said, I just love ass. That was his reply.
Fair enough.
And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a fantastic game. Everybody who's listening, I think y'all should check this out. It's called Nier Automata. PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I think PlayStation 4, Xbox One, I think you can also get it on. The Switch has a port now. I've heard kind of iffy things about the Switch port. Like, it runs, but it's half the frame rate, and it's 720p. The graphics are downscaled a little bit, but it works. Like, if that's all you have, you can play it that way. And then there's PC. It's also on PC.
Okay.
So
I also didn't get that far in it. Is it just robots fighting? Do you fight like any other type of?
It's just robots, but they start building them up and changing how they are and stuff like that.
Okay, so you don't fight. Only thing I saw was like mooses and like warthogs in there. But
you can fight them if you want to.
Yeah, but
they kick your ass, but you can fight them.
Oh, my homeboy, he was like, "Oh, I just killed the moose." Like, why are you killing the moose? They ain't doing nothing to you.
If you want to upgrade your weapons, you have to at some point because you got to get like their hide and stuff to.
Oh, so it does matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now I know. Go ahead and kill the fucking mooses, man. My bad. I told you not to kill them because I didn't think they did anything.
And you can, I think it's the warthog specifically. If you get it down to a certain amount of health, a button prompt shows up and you can jump onto it and ride it, and like you can charge through the whole area, and it's really difficult to control, but like you can just plow through enemies and stuff.
Now I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little things in that game that's interesting. Have you met Emil, the little traveling vendor guy?
I don't know.
You would know if you met him. He's obnoxious.
Okay, I must have it because I'm like I said, like I'm not that far into the game, but I was playing it for a good while. I've had problems with that. You had to go back into that factory. You had to scan, and I was like, well, how the fuck you use a scanner? I had to look it up because I didn't know how to use a scanner.
Yeah,
and I'm like, the whole time I'm sitting there like, man, I've been here before, and I realized like that's the first place where you fought like those big factory looking. They got like fucking bulldozers for hands or something like that. Yeah, you fight them like twice, and I realized that you got to walk pretty much all the way back through that whole level just to the beginning, just to find the body or whatever. I had to do that a couple of times because it crashed on me last night and then crashed on me today.
Yes, I don't know why it's doing that.
I'm gonna have to boot up my PlayStation 4 to see.
Make sure you got the cloud save going or something. You should be able to move the save to the PlayStation.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna have
to just play it on there.
Yeah, I guess try it just to see, because like I said, I never had that happen.
We'll figure it out, man.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But where you got it on your list? I know it's high on yours.
It's number one. I like
It's
number one for me. I like it. It's one of my all-time favorite games.
Wow, Spink's been up there for a minute.
Spinks has been up there since episode 1.
Wow.
And now Spinks is on the floor.
Spinks is number 2.
Yeah.
All right, let me move this down a little bit, cause all right, we got that. All right.
Well, where do you put yours?
I'll put it before Bayonetta.
Okay.
I'll put it right before Bayonetta. I think I like playing that a little bit more than Bayonetta.
Okay.
But it ain't fucking with that Super Mario Wonder. I don't care what you say. Ain't nothing fucking with that Super Mario Wonder. Go ahead and read that off, sir.
So on Eggs' side, we've got the new first place for the first time in 23 episodes?
At least.
Nier Automata, Sphinx, Super Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, Bayonetta, Returnal, Jet Set Radio, Cathedral, Godfall, and King of Route 66. On LSD's side, we've got Returnal, Super Mario Wonder, Nier Automata, Bayonetta, Spider-Man 2, Sphinx, Godfall, Cathedral, Jet Set Radio, and King of Route 66.
Yep. You guys see it. There it go.
And next up on our thing, we'll be playing Wulong Fallen Dynasty.
Yep. For the PlayStation 5, Wulong.
So I've not played this game at all. I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it.
I've played about 20 minutes of it.
Okay.
So I haven't really got into it, but we'll find out next episode.
Now we will.
All right. I got a nice little buzz going. I kind of been drinking pretty much since 11 o'clock this morning. So,
yeah, you pre-gamed the podcast.
That wasn't intentional. It just kind of happened that way.
Yeah. I mean, when someone shows up with a surprise handle, you know.
It is a handle. Well, to further ado, I'm not going to keep our fans waiting.
Going into number 2.
Cork this off. I'm going to keep drinking it. That's a good thing about this gross. You can cork it off.
Yeah, and then it actually holds the carbonation and stuff. Like, it doesn't just let it all go.
So do you want the little one first or the handle now?
I say we do the little one first, get it out of the way, and then we can kind of
end it with the handle?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So, today, we're going to try Monkey Head Vodka.
I like the bottle.
The bottle cool as shit.
And the shot glasses.
And we got little monkey shot glasses.
Yeah.
Little ooh, ooh, ah.
Kind of reminds me of the Crystal Skull thing, just it's a monkey.
Yeah, but it's a monkey. Like Crystal Skull vodka, but it's a monkey. I'm going to go ahead and open this up real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and pour up and
Monkey
get
Head
into our
vodka.
topic. We doing shots today.
Yep.
Except for that handle.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know if we want to be shooting that too much.
Ooh, got a cork on. Let me go ahead and pour me a little shotty shot. And it is kind of like a little celebration too. A little celebrated episode.
Yeah.
We finally got 100.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
We on the road to 2.
There we go.
All right, there we go. I don't think there's no story on it.
I was just curious to see like where it came from and stuff. Yeah, Monkey Head Vodka. Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Make sure I tag them in this.
Put the little skull right there.
We're going to put that up there when it's empty. Well, shout out to Monkey Head. Salute.
That's vodka.
Sir. God. Woo.
We need to wash that down.
Yeah. Still got some pop.
That's definitely vodka.
That's vodka, all right. Woo. What do you think? That shit got some bite.
It's got some bite. It's got more bite than I think I've had in other vodkas.
And the vodka, that's got some bite. Shit, make you want to beat your chest.
It's not bad though. I mean, it's vodka. Vodka's for the most part flavorless.
Yeah.
It's a great drink to mix with stuff.
You definitely need to mix something with that.
Yeah, but I'd be mixing with that.
Yeah, we have nothing. But we celebrating though. 100 followers.
It's a first big milestone as far as like YouTube goes.
Hey man, it's 100, man. It's 100 motherfuckers out here who fuck with us. I appreciate all 100 of you. You know, we love the support. And
Sienna's in the background barking for you.
Yeah, that's our mascot. She over there barking at somebody outside. Don't mind her. But we're gonna get into our next topic, which is why I'm wearing this shirt.
Yep.
The shirt fits the purpose. Arcades.
Specifically the death of the arcade. We don't have to go as much into it,
but it's the arcades though, man. Like, see, you younger than me, so you didn't have the good arcades that I had. Like your arcade was probably like some type of fun park or Dave and Buster's type of thing. But have you ever experienced a real arcade?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm in that weird, really weird age bracket where I experienced the tail end of everything from the generation before, and then grew up with a bunch of this. I was slightly older growing up with the stuff of Gen Z?
Don't give me the line.
I don't know. No, so when I was younger, there were still actual arcades around, and I went to a good few of them.
Okay.
And I've always enjoyed the arcade because to me at least, and like I said, I was kind of at the tail end of it, seeing this, but the arcade always felt like the demo for what was coming in gaming for me by the time I was getting around. So like you'd go to an arcade early on, and it was real competitive. The arcade companies were trying to make the next big arcade hit. That's where you get your Pac-Man, you get your fighting games from it, you get shooters, or like Space Invaders, stuff like that. That's where all those great games come from, was from that competitive time.
Right.
And then once stuff like the NES came out, and you started being able to port some of those older arcade machines or older arcade games to the home systems, to me, the arcades they were the more advanced technology, so you could go in and get the better looking games and play them.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like the look into what the future of a home console was. Because when you're sitting there with your 8-bit NES, the arcades were starting to put out the 16-bit. with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and stuff like that was coming out. And then once you got the 16-bit at home, you started getting into like the early 3D stuff at the arcades with like Virtua Fighter and stuff like that. And I always thought that was so cool. And it happened up to about the PlayStation 2 era.
Yeah.
Where by that point, everything the arcade kind of started falling off, and they stopped putting in as much new to it. But
yeah,
I always enjoyed when I was really young going to them, just to be like, oh, so this is what graphics are going to look like. This is what we'll be able to do. And you always got the arcade always had the more interesting way to play. Mm-hmm. Like old racing games and stuff. It was a lot harder to get a good steering wheel and pedal setup in your house back in the day of Cruising USA and Daytona USA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you could go to the arcade and you got the wheel there, or you go for a rhythm game and you got the big drum set, you got the Dance Dance Revolution hard floor, Yeah. And you can get that stuff relatively easy now. Couldn't do it back then.
No.
And so you wanted the premium way to play a lot of games. You went to the arcade.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That arcade was kind of like just a peek into the future, like what's coming. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know that then. Mm-hmm. So my early remembrance of an arcade, so we used to have this mall that wasn't too far from me. It's gone now. It was called Randall Park Mall. Mm-hmm. Hands down, the best mall ever. Because that motherfucker had 2 arcades.
2 arcades.
One upstairs, one downstairs. Mm-hmm. That motherfucker had 2. The one upstairs was smaller, but the one downstairs was bigger. And if you're from Cleveland, you know. Dude, I'm talking about, I go in there, my grandmother, because I used to go there with my grandmother a lot. She'll take me to the arcade. She'll let me blow $5-10, because back then it was a quarter. Mm-hmm. Until like some of the more expensive games came, it was like $1. Mm-hmm. That was mostly like Ninja Turtles, X-Men. I think that was probably like 50 cents. But you go in there, you put your money in the coin machine, you get your coins, you go over there, you fucking play $20 worth of video games, and it was always when the new games came out, because it'd be a crowd around it.
Yeah.
Like the Mortal Kombat, the Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2. It'd be a crowd of dudes around it. You better put your money up there. Mm-hmm. You say, hey, I got next. Mm-hmm. I got next. But what always kind of like blew my mind, there was always a dude in there who knew all the motherfucking moves. Yeah. How the fuck you know all the moves?
Company ploy.
He had to be.
He had to be like a company ploy or something.
He had to be. I'm talking about like he knew all the moves, how to throw the fireballs, because there was no instructions for that shit. The internet wasn't really around then, so you couldn't find these moves. How did you learn these moves? And just like you said, a company ploy or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, he come in there and be fucking dudes up. Big money was going down in there too. I'm talking about shit. Hey, what you got on the game? Mm-hmm. I bet you 50. 100. I've seen it on Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Mortal Kombat, how the hell did you know how to do the finish 'em attacks? Mm-hmm. Because you had to do half circle, back, half circle again, BA, or whatever, just to do the damn move. I'm like, it was impossible to do.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys, they just knew. So
it had to be somebody going in from a company or something, like showing that they're possible, getting them out into the world, you know. Maybe you got to learn them.
Yeah.
Had to be. Like, I couldn't see it being anything else.
But even with the arcades, the smaller ones, like at a Pizza Hut,
Mm-hmm.
might have like 3 or 4 games. Chuck E. Cheese,
Mm-hmm.
They had like a couple of arcades, but most people went to Chuck E. Cheese to play like was the skee ball.
Yeah, the ticket games.
The ticket games where you win prizes and stuff like that. The bowling alleys, they had like a little arcade little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved them. I miss them. I thought they were fun as hell.
Mm-hmm.
We got kind of a couple around here. But there's more like kind of pinball.
Yeah, there's the one they've got a few arcade machines now.
Mm-hmm.
But really, when they started, they were trying to do pinball only.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've got a whole genuinely impressive collection of pinball machines.
Yeah, they got a good set over there.
It's like 20, 30 pinball machines.
Yeah, it's real cool.
They started getting in some like other just more gamey arcade machines. Like I think they got a couple of shooters and stuff in there now, like the light gun games.
Yeah, they got Time Crisis in there.
Mm-hmm.
I know they got that Mario Kart racing game. They got the Neo Geo. That one had like the NES. NEC. It had like 4 or 5 games in it. I think it was like King of Fighters, Final Fight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple games in there, but they got a good collection. They also had Gauntlet Legends in there.
Oh, really?
Oh, I went in there. I played that shit. I felt real nostalgic playing that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 monkey.
Number 2 on monkey.
Woo.
I think I was trying to figure out, because when you suggested this topic, it was the fall of arcades, and I was trying to figure out what exactly caused it, and I'm pretty sure it was online gaming.
I'm gonna say online gaming and also home gaming.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I mean with online gaming. Like, you didn't have to go to the arcade to play with your friends. You didn't have to drag your system to your friend's house to play with your friends anymore.
Yeah.
And the systems that were out were as powerful as the arcades, because as gaming systems got stronger and stronger, like to the PS3, 360 era, it became really expensive to try to have an arcade unit that just plays one game, have all that technology packed into it to play a game of that quality.
Yeah.
And it became like the company that made it would have to spend $3,000 on brand new technology just to make it play one game.
Yeah, for one game, yeah.
And it became very hard to keep that up. So they stopped progressing with that kind of thing. And when I think arcade games, or just arcades in general, my thought always goes to the 4-player games, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Simpsons, the racing games where it's just 4 in a row and you're all in your own seat and you're racing each other, knocking each other off the road. That's the kind of stuff I think.
Motorcycle games, yeah.
Yeah, and that's that kind of, once online gaming came out and you could just sit at home and do that with your friends who are also sitting at home, it kind of became less of an incentive to go to the arcade. But I think that's what I miss the most about arcades, is just like it's fun and fine to sit there with the mic on your head and shit talk your friends while you're running them off the road, but it's a whole different thing when there's all these sounds going on around you, the ping 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 ping, the ticket sirens going off, and you just lean over to your friends and just like, fuck you.
Or grab his wheel and shit on some dick shit.
Start hitting buttons.
Yeah, man. Well, like, I can remember a time, so I lived in California for a while, and where we stayed at, there was an arcade there. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice one too. It was right next to the movie theater. They had a really good selection. They probably had a couple hundred games in there. Mm-hmm. And I used to go and play Strider all the time. Mm-hmm. I loved that game. I got it at home. is probably like one of my favorite arcade games. I used to go in there and play that all the time. And they had The Simpsons in there. When The Simpsons came out, I remember when it came out, I might have been in the 5th or 6th grade. And I remember going down there, had my allowance. I put $10 in that game.
Yeah.
$10 a quarters. And dude, when I say I got far in that game, like I probably could have beat that game at the arcade. That's how far I got. It was just a great time. And I miss them because, like, you know, my kids will never know the joy of an arcade. That was like, you know, a Friday night, you know, you out with your family. Hey, we're going to do something fun. Let's go to the arcade. You blow off some money. They might have pizza here. You know, we all just kind of having a good time. That was a fun time for us, you know. Now it's just like you get home, your kids go in their room, you playing the game, but I'm downstairs, they upstairs in different rooms, and we all playing the game together, but we're not playing it together.
Yeah.
You know, that's the things I miss about, you know, arcades.
It was also just the fun of, like, you and your friends all go there, you split apart, you go find a game that you wanted to play, maybe you found a single player one and you play through it, and as you're just going through spending your coins, you run into one of your other friends and you're just happen to be by a game, and there's that spontaneous, like, I'm fucking challenging you on Street Fighter right now, we're right here, you know, like.
Oh shit, don't get me started on that. You don't want no smoke.
No, I don't.
I got 30 years of fucking experience on Street Fighter.
I'm trash at fighter games.
Dude,
so.
Street Fighter? I beat the shit out of my kids every time. Every time. Every now and then they get like a little fluke win. But dude, I'm molly-whopping them motherfuckers. And on purpose. Yeah. Street Fighter was my game. Like, I'm really good at that shit. Like, really good. But when it comes to like Mortal Kombat, I'm not that good at it. Because the moves were too complicated. I thought so.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't like Street Fighter, back for 2 seconds, forward, punch. Like Mortal Kombat is like back for 2 seconds, half circle, up, down, AB.
Yeah.
To throw one move. I'm like, that's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't one of my favorite ones. I could tell you who had it. I don't know if it's still there because I haven't been there in probably 15 years. Who has a really good arcade is Cedar Point.
Okay. I haven't been to Cedar Point in a while either.
Yeah. Right when you walk into the park, probably like about halfway up, they got like this old timey arcade there. A few hundred games in there. They got like the new games in the back. But you walk in the back of this arcade, all the old games. When I say old, I mean old.
Okay.
We talking about 50s, like old games. Like the earliest arcade game I could think of is like Pac-Man era, pole position, stuff like Pong. They got some old shit back there, but nobody goes back there though. But you can go back there and play, and they still a quarter.
Yeah.
But you go up front, you playing like Super Monaco GP, where you actually sitting in the car, you know, and they got actuators on it, and you're moving up and down and all that stuff, and you're racing with your buddies and stuff like that. That's like a $10 game.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's $10.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. It was like at some point it just became too expensive to make a single arcade machine. And like they're still great, they're still fun.
Yeah.
Like like light gun games.
Yeah.
They're typically best at the arcade, but if I wanted that experience, I could just play it on. I could boot up Duck Hunt on my NES, or I can pull up any number of shooter games that were on the Wii, you know?
Yeah.
And it just... there was...
Oh, there we go.
I think what finally cemented the arcades as actually kind of dead was when they started doing here's a game on phones that people really like let's make an arcade machine about it. And you got like that jumpy duck or whatever the fuck it's called. The
Flappy Duck?
Bird. Yeah, Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird.
And that's an arcade machine, you know? Like, and it's like they started porting stuff like the Crossy Roads and weird stuff like that. That started just getting ported to an arcade machine.
But I've seen some games that started on cell phones come to arcade. Mm-hmm. What's the one where you cut the fruit? Samurai Fruit or whatever?
Fruit Ninja. Yeah,
I've seen that at like Dave and Buster's or something like that. That's probably as close as an arcade that you can get to outside of like some of these little swings and things, Frankie's. You know, you can get like a little arcadey over there.
Yeah,
but people mostly go there for like the bowling, the pizza, the go-karts and stuff like that. Laser tag. You know, the arcades are just something for like the little kids to kind of dick around on.
I think the problem with a lot of the modern style arcades is it's like 80% ticket games that are trying to steal your money and then 20% video game.
Oh, yeah, because everybody want to win the fucking PlayStation 5 that costs 28,000 tickets.
Yeah, and they don't think about it, and they're like, they don't realize that that's a $2,000 PlayStation at that point. Like, you spend $20, you get enough tickets to go buy a $3. Yeah.
Bubble gum,
some bubble gum, some candy,
a bouncy ball,
and then a lot of them are just take your money stuff where it's like it's not skill, it's when the machine decides to pay out. Yeah,
because all those machines are rigged. They got like a certain payout rank where this machine has to make so much money for you to win one prize.
Yeah,
so that whoever owns that machine might have it set to like, well, it had to sell $800 just to win one prize, and it might not even be a good prize. Yeah, you know, it's maybe like a mug case or something. Yeah, iPhone case or something like that. You know, I see those in truck stops. I seen those little things everywhere. They might have like stacks of money in there. I seen them with stacks of money in there, and you know, you got to play that game $2,000. You know, for it to win one time. It's all rigged, you know.
Oh yeah. And that just kind of ruins a lot of it for me, because like a lot of the greatest experiences, or I guess the greatest time with arcades was when companies were trying to one up each other. It was like, you got this light gun game. Well, now I've got the light gun game with the pedal that ducks. Well, now I've got the light gun game with the button that reloads. Now I've got the light gun. You know, it's like...
Yeah, I got the light gun game where you're sitting in the car and you're driving. Yeah. And you got to shoot at the same time. Yeah.
And it's like they were trying to one up each other. They were pushing boundaries. They were trying to continue stuff.
Yeah.
And then now it's like the same game over and over.
Yeah.
Like the Mario Kart 8 arcade machine. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But it's just another racing game, you know?
Yeah.
There's nothing new about it. It's the same game you can play on your Switch if you got Mario Kart 8, just you got a steering wheel now. That's the same steering wheel that they've been using since Daytona, USA, you know?
Yeah, sure, you go further back. Pole position.
Pole position, yeah.
You know? One of my all-time favorite games, and I was playing it recently, was Afterburner. Mm-hmm. That was, you know, you like in a Time Cat. It came out around 85, around Top Gun time. Mm-hmm. But they had it where the fucking thing moves. Mm-hmm. So you in there, you flying the thing. The Time Cat, you go this way, it goes this way. You go that way, you pull up. Like, they had the full motion arcade games. That was so dope.
Oh, yeah.
And believe it or not, like, even though they're no longer around and there's still some people who have them, they really expensive. Mm-hmm. They're like $5,000.
I believe it.
$5,000 for something that came out in 1985.
Yeah.
And it might not even work.
Yeah. Might be a dead board for all you know.
The boards go all the time. The mechanics dry rot and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's a place not too far from here. I think it's in Rock Hill, and he has arcades. Mm-hmm. Everything in there is like $2,000.
Yeah.
Like, that blows my mind. Mm-hmm. But his work. I know his work.
Yeah, it keeps him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he knows how to repair them. I don't. So he has like boards and stuff like that that has the game on the board and stuff like that. But you can go out there and get them.
Do you want to get into the last little drink while we kind of move on to the...
Yeah,
I guess we can talk about your arcade.
All right, so...
I'm scared.
One of our buddies, he said he had something for me. So, funny story. Almost about a year ago, I want to say.
Yeah, it was about a year ago now.
My homeboy was missing.
Gone.
I'm getting calls like, hey, have you seen such and such? It's like, no, I ain't seen him. I'm out of time. I'm like, no, I ain't seen him. So I'm calling, mutual friends.
Yeah, he's calling me. He's like, hey, have you seen so-and-so? I'm like, no, why? Like, he's missing. He's gone.
He's gone.
No one knows where he's at. Nobody's heard from him.
Yeah, nobody's heard from him. Nobody. So, hours went by, like, about a good half a day goes by.
Yeah. On top of the day before. Like, it was a full day before.
Right.
And then it was like the next day, the whole, like, has anybody seen this guy? No one knows where he's at.
Right.
Happens.
So I get a call like, oh, he's okay. He just passed out. I'm like, what the fuck was he doing? So he went home to pick up some bottles and stuff. And then he said he passed out in his car. He said he woke up. His mom was at the car like, everybody looking for you. It was like a missing person report and everything.
Yeah.
His wife was pissed. Oh, she was mad. So he comes over to my house today. And he was like, yeah, I got that shit that I was missing on.
Labelless.
Some damn moonshine.
Yeah.
It's a terrible time.
Yes, I'm a bit scared.
Have you ever had moonshine before?
Not a lot. I've had a sip, but I've not had I've never sat there and drank real moonshine. I've had the bottled shit that you can buy at the stores.
No.
That's not moonshine.
No. This is, I don't even know where the shit came from. But he showed me a picture when he got it. He said this is a half.
That's a half?
That's a half.
A handle is a half?
He said it's a half. I don't think it's a half. That looking full to me.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and pour up. Shout out to my man. Appreciate you, man. This is coming out at Friendsgiving.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. We drinking this Friendsgiving.
That on top of paint can?
I forgot about paint can. And Malort.
No one's fucking going home. Everybody's going to be passed out in the backyard.
There's sleeper bags everywhere. All right. So back on the arcade tip. Go ahead. Yeah, smell it.
I'm scared.
All right. So back on, what do you say? About 5 months ago, I came up on those arcades. I bought 3 arcades.
We actually talked about it a little bit. I think it was episode 3 of the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. So early on, I came up on 3 arcades. Eggs has 1. I have 2. I actually finished 1.
Yeah.
I put Raspberry Pi 4 in it. New monitor. Pretty much took all the insides out.
Yes, all 3 of them were dead.
Yeah.
It was more just the body. Get the body of the arcade. Try to fix it up. Do what it was. I spent a little bit trying to fix mine, but that face doesn't make me want to drink this.
Believe it or not, man, it's smoother than that.
I believe that. I do believe that. But we got them. I tried to fix mine, but I couldn't really figure it out. I've never dealt with arcade machines.
That's a whole nother monster.
Yeah, and I fix consoles and stuff every once in a while, but all I know is I got it to the point where, so you would flip the power switch on the top of it, nothing would happen. I got it to the point where you flip the power switch on, and all of a sudden you would just hear some really loud, and I was like, that's gonna catch fire. I'm gonna turn that off. Just like, No, we're not.
We're not about to burn down the house.
So, yeah.
So let me know what you think.
It's not bad. It's actually not bad.
It's smoother than that, ain't it?
It's smoother than the monkey, yeah.
Yeah, it's smoother than the monkey.
It's actually not bad.
There you go. You gonna wake up in the driveway. Oh man. So back to my arcade. If I was to guesstimate how many games I got on it, I know I have NES, SNES, Atari, Sega 32X, Sega Master System. I'm about 20,000 games.
Yeah.
And I'm still not finished building it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I'm gonna have to get an external memory card to put some of them bigger games in it. Mm-hmm. But I'm about 20,000 games.
Yeah, so I know the difference between the two of them that we got is mine was a 3-in-1 of like the bowling games. Mm-hmm. So it has the ball on it, the roller ball. And the ball is broken, doesn't work. But when I rebuild mine, I want to try and get that. I want to replace that ball with a new one where I know you don't have the ball on yours.
But I said I was going to rebuild mine because I want to have 4-player. Because right now mine's 2-player.
Yeah.
So I want to do it with 4-player with the ball. Because I want like Golden Tee and it's a couple other games that you do with the ball. And I seen it where you could port the light guns to it.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen like where you can get like Time Crisis, what's the one with the zombies? House of the Dead.
House of the Dead, yeah.
Yeah. You can get that. I saw it's a site that I send it to you.
Even with a flat screen, you can get the light guns on there?
Well, I got a glass on mine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you got the glass over.
Yeah, I got the glass over mine. So it will work. So they got the little setup where you could, use light guns with it. Mm-hmm. I gotta give you the site. It's called I don't remember, it's arcade something.
Okay, yeah.
But they sell like all the parts. So I got the buttons that light up, I'm still working on it. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna put a subwoofer in it. And
get that fucking arcade bumping.
Man, I had to turn the volume because I got an amp in there. Uh-huh. I got Alpine speakers. I got an amp in there. And dude, that fucking shit loud. B came over to bring the handle. And he was like, dude, I can hear that shit all the way out here. And I'm in the garage. Yeah. He's in the street.
Yeah.
So he's like, man, I can hear that shit all the way over here, yo. Like, yeah, dude. Like, and I only got one Alpine in there. Mm-hmm. Imagine if I put 2 in there.
Yeah.
And I got that
and
sub. That shit gonna knock. And then
I want to put a 12 in there.
No, I got an 8. I got
an 8. Oh, okay.
I want to redo the console for 4-player capability, but then I also want to put cup holders in there because when I was playing today, I had no place to put my beer.
So I really need to drink while playing this. Yeah.
Yes. When you're playing video games, you got to drink.
I agree.
Oh man.
I figured I would just go like look up on like some old cheap 80s plastic ones and just screw them into the side of mine.
No. They're actually really cheap though. Like those buttons that I got, I ain't pay a lot for them. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. I'm probably under $100 on those buttons and everything that went with them. Yeah. I'm under $100. So
I want to make mine. I just want to make mine 2-player because that's really all the room I have for, and I want to keep it as authentic to the design that it is now. Like I want to do as little messing up of the actual artwork and everything that's all over it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to be me just squeezing 2 players into one small spot.
Well, that second one I got for sale. Mm-hmm. So whenever I finish that one, whenever I start building that one's for sale. Yeah. Because I really only need one. Yeah. Unless I wish I had the space because I see them all the time online, where I can just make an arcade in my garage. Mm-hmm. That'd be dope.
That would be cool.
Nobody would leave my house.
Well, at least you wouldn't.
I don't want to leave it now, and I ain't got shit there.
That's true.
Oh man, this moonshine got me feeling good.
My top lip's a little numb.
Oh man, where are we at, man? We at our time?
We are definitely at our time.
Well, that was a good topic about arcades, man. The next game we're gonna be playing is Wulong.
Wulong, yep, the Fallen Dynasty.
Yeah, we won't be playing Wulong. Again, like, subscribe, follow us on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok at Too Faded to Play. We are at Too Faded to Play at YouTube.
On the road to 200 for YouTube.
Yeah, please check us out, man. Send us a like,
hit
comment.
that subscribe button, leave a comment, tell a friend.
Yeah, tell a friend. You know, we trying different liquors, we trying different beers every episode. It's never gonna be the same unless we get to the point where we just run out of stuff. But I don't think it's gonna be the same because there's a lot of stuff to drink out here.
There's a lot of drinks.
There's a lot of video games to play. So we gonna get it in.
Yep. And if you have any suggestions, a topic you want to hear about, a video game you want us to cover, leave it in the comments, either Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and we'll try to get to it.
Hey, I'm LSD.
Now I'm Eggs.
Peace.
See ya.